Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Maria and I'm starting Excel tutorials to help you become a spreadsheet master. Now for this part 1 video, I'm going to be explaining you the basics of Excel, the home tab, and everything that has to do with it. Now, don't forget to subscribe down below because I'm going to be posting part 2 very soon and additional videos that are more advanced. So if you like this video, please give it a like and comment down below if you have any questions or you would like to see something specific in Excel on a future video. Just don't forget to comment down below and let me know. Now, without any further ado, let's just get started with this video. So when we open Excel, this is what we first see. In the top left corner, we have a shortcut for a blank workbook, but we also have a lot of templates to choose from. So make sure you have a look at what Excel is already offering you. They have a wide range of templates, from loan calculators to weekly chores schedule, a lot of templates. If you're looking for something a little bit more specific, you can also look at the search tab. But for today, we're gonna start a new blank workbook. So you click here, and this is what opens up. So here we have our Excel sheet. As you can see, these are our columns and these are our rows. So columns are identified by letters, and then rows are identified by numbers. And in this way, it's really easy to know which cell and row you're working because, for example, if you click on here, you know that you're on L6. It automatically highlights where you are, as well as on this section, you can see the name of the box as well. Right here at the top, we have different tabs. So from the File tab, we are able to open other spreadsheets. We're able to save the spreadsheet, print it, share it, export it, you name it. So this File tab is going to be useful for when you are wanting to do any of those tasks. Home tab is very useful because it has the most used things in Excel. For example, here we have a clipboard where you can find your paste button, as well as you have your cut, copy, and then your format painter. In this box, you have the font. So from here, you can choose what font you want to be using, the size of the font, as well as you can increase or decrease the font size using these buttons right here. Here you can bold it, or you can create an italic font or underline it. This one right here, it has to do with the cells. For example, if I want this cell to be outlined around, I can choose the border that I want it to have. So if I wanted all borders, I will choose here, and then I will have all borders highlighted. If I only want a couple borders, so I only want the left border, here is the left border outlined. If I also want the right border, I would go back here and then choose the right border. And there you go. If you want these to be a little bit thicker, you can go on the line style here and then choose a thicker one, and then you can kind of draw it just by clicking on them. Let's say if you also want this to be highlighted, you can also draw on that one. If you want this top one to be highlighted, see how easy that is? So that's an option that you have. If you decided that you no longer want these to be highlighted, you can click on them and then you go back here and choose the no border option, and that gets rid of that. Let's say that you want to get rid of these two at the same time. You just have to highlight these two cells like that, for example, and click find the no border, and voila, that's it. Now this one right here, it's for your fill color. So let's say that I want to highlight these cells in yellow, then I would, click and highlight the cells, go right here on that fill color and select the color I want, and that's it. There's my highlight right here. This one right here, it's the font color. So automatically, you're gonna have a black font color. So if you want to change the color of the font, you just go right here, choose your new color, and that's it. It changes right there. Going on this alignment section, this has to do with how you want the text to align within a column or a row. I'm gonna make these cells a little bit bigger so you can kind of see how this works. And you can do this, you can make the columns or the rows bigger by kind of hovering between this line, like between the two cells, and you're gonna see that item there. So you just have to click on that one with your left click and then drag it to the left or to the right, depending on what you want to do. And same with the rows. You can also go in between the two numbers there, kind of has that line, and then you can adjust the height of the row like this. If you want, for example, to increase the size of multiple rows, what you have to do is select them, and then you can change any of them, and automatically all of them will have the same height. Similarly with the columns, you can also choose many columns and then adjust their width, and they will all have the same width, all of the ones that were selected. Now going back to this alignment section, this has to do with where your text is going to be in this column. For example, if I want the text to be right in the middle, I would choose the second option, which is a middle aligned. And this one's right here, it has to do where you want this to be aligned with respect to the left, center, or to the right. So if I want this to be aligned towards the right, I just have to click this one here, align right. Or if I want this to be right in the middle of this, I would select the center alignment, just like that. This other button right here is the orientation. For example, if I want this to be oriented angled and clockwise, I could choose this one. I can adjust again right here to kind of see it. Or if I want it to be rotated the text up like that, I can adjust it. Maybe if you have like a cell configuration like this, like you can really play around with the format and how you wanted it to be. But let's just go back to this one right here. This one is for the indentation. For example, I'm gonna write down here blue, and then we're gonna go here black, red, and I want these to be indented a little bit to the right. So I'm gonna be clicking the increase indentation here. So when I click it, you see how that it's moving towards the right. And if I want to decrease it, I just go on the decrease one. So the arrow pointing to the left. This one right here, wrap text, is one that I really use quite a bit. So this one is for those texts that, for example, you have a column like this, that if you are writing something else here, like for example, size, do you see how the R from color is now hidden? Well, a quick fix, you can choose the wrap text, which is gonna, bring that other word down, bring it down, and you can read it better. If you go back to adjusting the width, it will go back here, but let's say that we need it like that, then because it already has that determined, it's gonna go back on its own. The merge cell, the merge and center, is, for example, you want to merge two columns or two rows. Well, if I want to merge two columns, let's say I want to merge columns C and D together, I'm going to select those two cells and I'm going to merge them, click on them, and see how now when you click on it, it shows up as only one. And if you want to do the same here, you can also select those two and click. Now, if you don't want to be doing those individually, you can do it all at once by just selecting on one and going to the bottom right corner until it kind of shows up like that little plus button there. You're gonna click and drag down, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna bring that merge cell down, so we're gonna have that same style of cell. Notice here that I only brought it all up to here and that these cells weren't adjusted. Moving on to the number, this one is the type of text you're gonna be using on a cell. For example, if you're gonna be writing down here numbers, you can click number, and this is gonna have a predetermined style for that. For example, here I want to write down percentages. Then I would write a number, and automatically it would format that number as a percentage. If I want to write down here currency, I'm gonna write down 8 and it's gonna automatically show a dollar value. Or general, kind of like what it is right now, I can write down anything that I want and it would just stay like that. For example, if I write, I don't know, a random word and then I have it right here, it's gonna stay as it is. Or I can also just change it to text, and yeah, it's just another way to kind of adjust your columns and rows for a specific input. These are shortcuts for these dollar values for accounting number formats. So I could convert this into a dollar value, and you see how that automatically changes that into the accounting mode. Or if I want to convert it to a percentage, I can also click here, and there you go, there's a percentage. If I want to show a number using commas, then I can, for example, write that number. It's gonna show up like this for now, and then I can click on it and it's gonna adjust it back. Now this button right here is pretty useful. This one is to increase the number of decimals you're seeing. So if we click on it, do you see how we get more? And this one here to decrease that amount of decimals that we're seeing. So if you don't want to see any decimals, just go with that. Next one here, cells. Let's say that I do not want a row or a column and I want to get rid of it. Well, I would just select that column. I would go right to the top where the letter is, and then I would go here and go delete cell. It would automatically delete that cell and move the remainder ones towards the left. Or let's say that I want to erase that row. I would also go back here and select delete rows, and it would go away. This is a pretty good review of the home tab. Now that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this part 1 video was useful for you. Now don't forget that part 2 is coming very soon. I'm gonna be leaving you down below the link for the part 2 of this video when it comes out, so don't forget to check it out. Now once again, thank you for joining me. Hit the subscribe button and comment down below if you have any questions. Let me know. Alright, until the next one, bye!